So, what is bankruptcy anyway? I mean, what is it, right? Bankruptcy is a legal process for individuals or businesses to manage unsecured debt. Unsecured debt is a very specific type of debt. You don't get a free house in bankruptcy. You don't get a free car in bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is designed to deal with what we call general unsecured non-priority debt, which is going to be credit cards, medical bills, personal loans, payday loans, bank loans, all of those lawsuits that are for things like old apartments and Verizon contracts and stuff like that. That is the type of debt that is addressed in a bankruptcy. I want to point out that when we are filing for bankruptcy for somebody, we are generally not getting rid of taxes or child support or alimony or student loans. There's a whole host of other things we don't get rid of either, like the damages that you cause if you purposefully harm or injure somebody. But for the most part, the types of debts that are going to go away are the ones that most Americans really struggle with outside of student loans. I know we struggle with those, but I'm talking about the type of stuff that really keeps us from being able to borrow money, from being able to move forward, from being able to start that business, from being able to send our kids to college, from being able to live the American dream. And so bankruptcy is here not as a punishment, but as a way to completely change your financial life around and get back into the game. The two most common types of bankruptcy that are filed for regular individuals in America, consumers like you and me, is going to be a Chapter 7 and a Chapter 13. A Chapter 7 bankruptcy is probably the one most people think of when they think of a bankruptcy. It's actually fast, it's quick, you are in and out, and you get to get rid of your credit cards, medical bills, and personal loans like that. It is like true magic. It is waving a magic wand. But of course, things that sound too good to be true often are. And there are requirements. Number one, in order to qualify to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, you have to be below an income limit, which is going to be very unique to your state. Secondly, even if you do qualify based on your household income and based on your state's limits, the next thing you're going to have to do is determine whether or not you own anything that would be at risk if you filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, because a Chapter 7 bankruptcy is actually technically called a liquidation. So if you qualify to file a Chapter 7, let's pretend you have $50,000 in credit cards and medical bills, and you are a household of two and you make $50,000 a year and you qualify to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. We do not stop the analysis there, because even if you qualify to file the Chapter 7 easy magic wand bankruptcy, if you own a home or cars or real estate or things that are not protected by your state's bankruptcy exemptions, you could lose them, or you could have to pay more money in order to keep them. Every single state has a different income limit. Every single state has wildly different exemptions. And so depending on the state that you live in and your household income and your household expenses and your household debt and your household assets, those are all of the things that we need to analyze to determine whether or not you are going to be able to file the easy magic wand bankruptcy called a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And let me tell you something, if you qualify, it really is the easy way out. I don't care what anybody says. I'm a big fan of taking the easy way out. I do not believe taking the hard way is necessary. I believe if you have an easy path, you should get on your shoes and walk the easy path, and you don't need to walk the hard path if it's not necessary. Now, if your household income is above the limit for your state, or if you have something valuable that would otherwise be taken away from you in your state if you were to file where you live, then we start looking at a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. And the reason you are in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, either one, because you're over the income limit, or two, because you have something valuable that you're trying to save, those two different reasons for going into a Chapter 13 are going to determine or dictate to us what your responsibilities will be. Because if you are in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy because your income's over the limit, you will have different responsibilities and obligations than those people who are in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy because they have something valuable that they're trying to save, and they otherwise did qualify to file a Chapter 7. So, number one, we always want to be in a Chapter 7 if possible. If we are not able to be in a Chapter 7, it either means we have earned too much money. Congratulations. We definitely want to earn money in this country, right? Or two, we own something pretty valuable that we want to try to keep and we don't want it to be taken away from us. If you are going into a Chapter 13 bankruptcy because your income is over the limit, you should be able to afford it. And I know that that sounds really harsh and painful, but a Chapter 13 bankruptcy is simply a budget. And it is a budget that is provided to you by the U.S. federal court system, and you have a judge protecting you. And during that time frame, your creditors can only get what your judge says they are allowed to get, and they must wait 3 to 5 years to get all of that money, and they can't touch you, garnish you, take from your bank account, foreclose on your house, repo your car. They can't do any of those things while you're in the 13. It's really important to know that if you are in a Chapter 13 plan, all compounding interest on your debt stops. And if you are in it because your income is over the limit, you will pay back that which you can afford based on your household size. So if you're just a little bit over the limit in your state, you're going to pay a little bit back in your Chapter 13 bankruptcy. If you're a lot over the limit in your state, you're going to pay a lot back in your Chapter 13 bankruptcy. And the amount that you pay is going to be commensurate on your household income. The problem we have is that the more income people have, the more expenses they think that they need. And bankruptcy is a pretty tight budget. But here's the thing. In 5 years or less, all of your unsecured debt will be gone in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, whether you can pay it off or not. And that is the beauty of a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. It is why it is preferable over debt consolidation or debt settlement, because there's no laws in America that are going to require your creditor to take less than what you owe unless a judge has told them that they have to. So debt consolidators do not have the power to force a creditor to take less than what you owe. Only a bankruptcy judge does. And debt consolidators do not have the power to lower your interest rate without permission. I'll do another video specifically on debt settlement and why that is not the best choice to take. But the point here is to understand why these options are available and what it is we can do. My clients, after filing a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, can get back to a 720 credit score within 12 to 24 months. My clients can usually finance a vehicle within days or weeks after filing a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. My clients can actually buy a home inside a Chapter 13 bankruptcy after 1 full year of on-time payments. My clients who file Chapter 7 bankruptcies can buy a home within 2 to 4 years if they are working on their credit. So all things are possible on the other side of a bankruptcy, but you have to understand how it works and why you're in it, and why some options might be better than others for you. Welcome to my content. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. I answer all questions. If you send me a private message, I will answer it if you are a subscriber. My name is Adrienne Hines. I'm a bankruptcy lawyer in Northwest Ohio, and I'm taking away shame and embarrassment from the discussion of debt.